Hi everyone, my name is Julia Tang and I'm a physical therapist. Along with being a physical therapist, I've also been a swimmer since I was a kid, and I've also been coaching my childhood summer swim team for many years. So today I have a set of exercises that can hopefully help some swimmers who might be experiencing some back pain. So there's a few reasons you might be getting some back pain as a swimmer. One is swimming requires a lot of upper back mobility. You have to really move through your upper back and rotate through your upper back as you're going through the water. And so some of these exercises are going to be mobility exercises for the upper back and the shoulders to help get that movement that you need. Another reason you might be getting some back pain is swimming is hard and it requires a lot of core strength. And so our bodies are really good at compensating. And so when you don't quite have the muscle strength, or if you're not quite using the right muscles, your body's going to find ways around that to just get the job done, just get you through the practice, get you through that swim. And so some of these exercises are going to be targeted at activating your core muscles and also strengthening your core muscles, which will help you power yourself through the water using the right sets of muscle groups. Okay? So hopefully this will help you out. So as we go through these exercises here, you can either do them with me or watch for the form first and then do them afterwards. For the mobility exercises, I usually do one set. For kind of the muscle strengthening and activation exercise, you can go up to 2 to 3 sets of however many repetitions you can do with good form. And that's a good starting point. Okay, so let's take a look at the exercises. So the first one's going to be an open book. This one is laying on the ground. So you bend up your knees here just to support your lower back. Your arms are going to be in front of you. And you just open up. Inhale as you open, exhale as you close. So you might get a few cracks in your back. And I want you to follow your hand with your eyes. So you're turning your neck as well as opening up your chest here. Your neck is part of your upper back, and so you want to get both to move. So we're just going to do 10 on this side. That's 5. If it feels nice, you can open up and then stay there. Take a deep breath and then close back up. 4 more. And if you can't touch the ground behind you, that's fine. Just get as far as you can. And then 1 more here. Okay, so then we want to repeat on the other side. So I'll kind of show you the side view this time. So laying on your side, knees bent up. You want them at about 90 degrees here just to make sure your lower back is stable. And then open. Inhale. Exhale to close. So this is an open book. Deep breathing. Inhale, open. And you'll probably have one side that's higher than the other. For me, it's this side. This is why we want to work into that upper back mobility here. And again, you can just kind of open up and then sit there for a sec. Take a deep breath in. Open across that chest. Then close it back up. We got 3 more on this side. Okay, so the next one is another mobility exercise. It's going to be a cat camel. So it's kind of a yoga move. You'll be on all 4s, and then inhale and arch your back as you look up. Exhale and round your back. And then go back and forth. So we'll do 10 here too. And as you do the cat part here, let your back sink between your shoulder blades. And then really round that back in the camel. You might get a few cracks here in your spine. That's fine. This is a mobility exercise, so you're getting things moving and grooving. I think this is 6. I'm bad at counting. 3 more. Deep breath in. Look up. Really arch. Round your back as you breathe out. 2 more. Good. And if that one's painful to start, you can always kind of start with a smaller range of motion and then work your way into it as you go. So the next one is thread the needle. This is kind of another mobility exercise, but also a nice stretch for the back of the shoulder here. So on all fours again, you're going to reach up and then reach under. And the goal is to get the back of your shoulder on the ground. So you can kind of walk your hand out. Breathe into the stretch. You should feel a good rotation through your upper back as well as a pretty good stretch on the back of your shoulder. You can just hold this for a few breaths. And then we'll repeat on the other side. So reach up and then reach under. Try and get the back of your shoulder on the ground here. Keep walking your arm out farther as you can. A few deep breaths. Good. So let's thread the needle. You can do that one a few times on each side, just a few deep breaths each time. So the next one, we're going to get into the core strengthening portion. So it'll be a toe tap. This is kind of a Pilates move. You're going to lay on your back. And the goal is to activate your deep core muscle. So you have your 6-pack abs, which you feel when you do a crunch. But if you find the point of your hip and then drop inside to kind of a fleshy part of your hip, it should be all nice and relaxed. But then, as you try and lightly draw your belly button towards your spine, lightly, it's not a huge suck, just a little draw of your belly button towards your spine, you should feel a little muscle deep in there tighten underneath your fingers. You have to kind of get in pretty deep in there, but draw your belly button towards your spine, feel that muscle activate, and you're going to lift your feet up to a 90 degree position, so 90-90 here at your hips and knees, and then you're going to lower to tap one heel on the ground, and then repeat with the other side. So all the while, you want to feel underneath your fingers that muscle is staying nice and taut. So you're activating that muscle the whole time. That's your deep core. And so inhale. Exhale as you bring your foot back up. Inhale to tap down. Exhale to bring your foot back up. And I know this seems like super easy and boring, and it kind of is, but you do have to wake up those deep core muscles. So make sure you're keeping that core activation on the whole time. And you really want to make sure your back is flat on the ground. If you feel yourself start to arch off the ground, you're losing control. So glue your back to the ground, tighten that muscle that's just inside your hip bone here, and do these toe taps. So again, I'm really bad at counting, but we're going to try and go for about 20 alternating, so 10 on each leg. And I think that was probably about 12 there. So this is 13, 14, inhale, exhale, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Good. And the reason why it's important to keep breathing there is your diaphragm, your breathing muscle, is also part of your core. So if you're trying to activate your core but you're not using your diaphragm, you're not using your whole core. So the next one is going to be back strengthening exercise, because your back is also part of your core. So you're going to lay on your stomach. This one is also super easy, seems very basic. You're just going to rest your forehead on your hands so your neck is nice and relaxed. Have your feet behind you. And you're just going to think about, you're not going to lift your leg off the ground, but you're going to just kind of think about it and straighten your knee off the ground here. So, forehead relaxed. Straighten that knee off the ground to get that leg off the ground. And you can leave your toes on the ground. So you're just straightening that knee. And what you should feel is your glute muscle here activating to straighten that knee. And what this is going to do is lightly activate your back muscles as well, which are really important for your core stability. So I call this a prone leg extension. Prone means you're on your stomach. Leg extension, you're straightening your leg here. So again, here we are. I have lost count. But we're going to try and go for about 20 of these as well. So we're going for kind of higher repetitions because it's more muscle activation than like really trying to bulk up your muscles. So we'll call that 10, and we'll go for 10 more. 11, 12, 13, 14. And as you do this, gently draw your belly button towards your spine so you're activating the front side of your core as well. 17, 18, 19, and 20. Okay, good. So the next one is going to be a glute bridge. So I talked about your core being kind of the front, the back. Your glutes are also part of your core because those are your big hip muscles, and especially for kicking and swimming, you need to have a lot of hip power to get that kick. Like we always say, kick from your hip, not from your knees. And so where's that power coming from? It has to come from your hips. So we're going to do a glute bridge here, laying on your back. You want to put your feet about shoulder width apart and knees more than 90 degrees, probably about like 120 degree bend here. So you're going to lightly draw your belly button towards your spine, so try and activate that deep core again. You're going to squeeze your glutes and just lift yourself in a straight line in a glute bridge. So what you want to avoid is a huge back arch. Don't use your back muscles to lift off the ground. You're using your glute muscles. So you should feel, if you hold kind of up here, your hamstring should be pretty relaxed, and your back will be activated, but shouldn't be like huge muscles sticking out. You really want to feel it squeezing in your glutes. So we'll go about 10 to 15 of these. So if it's pretty hard, you can stay at 10, which I think is about, I think this is 9, and then 10. If this is pretty easy and you can feel your glute muscles activating, sometimes it helps to put your hands on your muscles so then you can feel them tighten under your fingers. That helps activate them and give your brain some feedback that yes, those muscles are working. And so we're going to go to 15 here. I think that's 15. Okay, so that's a good one just to get your glutes all nice and activated, which is another big part of your core. So the last exercise is going to be a squat. So you're going to start out with your feet shoulder width apart, and because we're swimmers, generally our shoulders are pretty broad, so it's going to be wider than your hips. Feet pointing straight forward or very, very slightly with your toes out to the side, and you're going to initiate the squat by pushing your hips back. So sink back into your hips as you go down into that squat. Pretend like there's a chair behind you that you're trying to sit in. So you really have to reach your hips back. Try and keep your weight in your heels. Pretend like there's a bug underneath your heels. You gotta squish the bug. So squish the bug under your heels. Push your hips back. And the last thing you want to really think about is you don't want to let your knees wobble. So ground yourself in the floor and try and spread the floor. So spread the floor, sink into the squat. Spread the floor, squish the bug. So pushing your hips back, you want to get down till your knees are about 90 degrees bent here. And your knees should be tracking straight over your feet. So this one, you can do anywhere from 5 to 15 repetitions or even up to 20 if it's super easy. Make sure you're getting all the way up straight. Squeeze your quads, squeeze your glutes at the top. You don't want to stay in a little crouch here and then go back down. Get all the way straight, get that full extension. Think about exploding off the wall into a streamline. So this is a really good exercise for swimmers to work on that power. And once you get comfortable, you can speed up the squat a little bit. Still thinking about squishing the bug on your heels, spreading the floor between your feet. And so this is a really good one to get power for your legs for jumping off the wall jumping off the block for a dive, pushing off the wall from a turn, or just getting power in those glutes for that kick. Okay? So that was it. That was my little beginner set of exercises for swimmers who might be experiencing some back pain. So hopefully that was helpful for you, and hopefully you can also see how some of those exercises, both the mobility and the strengthening exercises, can relate to your performance in swimming. So hope you enjoyed that, hope it's helpful for you, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.